So today, I just want to say thank you for whomever is watching this video because I'm going to be on a path here uh, currently and in the future to helping people gain their freedom. I think you know if you saw the title and you wanted to click it, there's probably a reason. Uh, for the most part, I'm dealing with individuals who are looking at the fact that they're beginning to question whatever religion that they're a part of, and they want to get to the bottom of some of these questions. And where they presently are, they are not getting sufficient answers to their questions. It's not making sense to them. And they're no longer, for whatever reason, they're just not accepting the fact that I have to accept this and I can't quite they have a problem with not being able to question things. That's pretty much what this is about. My channel um is not anti-religion or anti-Christianity or anti-Muslim or anti-Jewish or none of that. When I speak of freedom, I talk about the freedom of choice that we all have. Um, and this is a universe that's a feeling based universe. We are mind, body, and soul. You know, your mind, the physical body, and in the soul, what's in here. Um, if you've never heard this term before, we are um, spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay. Now, I'm not saying or proclaiming that I'm a teacher of any sort, but I have learned some great things that help me liberate myself, gave me freedom within myself and my soul to where I can comfortably move about in this universe, or excuse me, in this lifetime. And I understand that it's about what my purpose is while I'm here on earth. What am I here to do? Who am I? My name is Tory Jones, but I'm also an MC. So my purpose is to move the crowd. But Tory is just my name. I'm a soul, and my soul has a purpose. I believe that I am here to help people gain freedom from under whatever bondage a person can have spiritually. That's what I'm here to do. And if that's meaning, if that means you have to uh, separate yourself from your current teachings and beliefs because you feel like you're outgrowing them, or you feel like you don't feel comfortable in that, and you need some answers to help you understand. Because I'm gonna be real with you, man. This going to hell for eternity thing, that got a lot of people shook. You know, they look at the Bible as a real historical document. You know, God sent people to kill men, women, and children in cities. You know, he punished Adam and Eve, and because he punished Adam and Eve, we still taking that punishment on, and we got to sit and you know worship this God man that's called Jesus, and you know we have to go through him to escape burning in hell forever. So a lot of people, um, when they've been taught this at such a young age that over time, over years of this same teaching, it's bred into their DNA from in their subconscious. It's like second nature to them. This is what they are. They don't have no control over it. It's in this book that they barely even understand. And they got questions and they're going to, their friends and family. Then they get the courage to go to other people's in their church. And then they might have enough courage to go to their pastor for certain questions. And I'm gonna be real with you, because a lot of these questions that you probably have are really basic. I'm gonna tell you about this conversation that I had with a family member who has been on her spiritual path. I've been doing this for like 4 years now. And this family member who I knew as a really young boy, I was like 5 years old, was the last time I probably seen her in person. Now I'm almost 50 and she's, a few years older than me. And she had been on this journey 10 years. And she was kind of giving me a rundown of the same thing with her. She started having these questions and nobody had no answers for her. And, I was telling her about my story. She was telling me about hers, but she told me hers first. And it was such a basic, it almost sounded cute. She had all these questions, but her main question was, why don't the people in the Bible have last names? And I laughed just like that. Like, wow, that's such a basic, but it's such a profound question. Like, yeah, how come they don't have last names? Like, what is it about them that they don't have last names? Why don't they have? Is there a reason behind them not having last names? Like, that's just something that she had that was on her mind. She had other questions, but it really starts off with something basic. And once you don't get the answer to that basic question, you kind of feel a way about it. And it's always somebody with an answer that you got that just made you feel like it was almost condescending to you, or it could have even offended you in some type of a way. And you was like, man, I know this can't be it. Then you start to do a little bit more research and you start digging a little bit more. And once you start digging more, now we're at a point where there are more and more people who are becoming what they call woke, and then there's more and more spiritual teachers out here. There are more and more people out here who are really giving their opinion and really explaining certain things. And they're going back and they're really doing a study. I study, but I'm not like heavy into the study. I'm more of the person that you can come to when you are really needing the encouragement. And you can even say somebody that needs to pump you up, give you the balls to even continue to pursue this. Because once you put your flag up and you make your final decision, if it means that you will separate yourself from whatever form of belief that you have, you are going to come up with opposition. And I'm here to tell you that that's what it's supposed to happen. When you have people who are vibing at a certain frequency and the whole crew is in this certain place. When one person tries to ascend and come above that, they try to convince you to stay. They try to scare you into staying. But when they see that you have the courage to leave, now you're not the friend anymore because you're not a part of the whole belief system. You can even make it, you're not a part of the gang no more. You're not a part of the team anymore. So if you're not a part of the team anymore, then you are of the opposing side. And because now you're on the opposing side, they have to figure out a way to defeat you. And the way that they figure out a way to defeat you is what's in their belief system, which is the book is the cornerstone to their belief system. So they take these things that are in this book to throw them at you and to make you feel however you're going to feel, because they, in a way, they're hurt for you. They want to do it for your good in their mind, in their heart, because that's a part of their belief. But you have to understand that what's a part of their belief is fear-based. And you just don't want to be scared no more. You don't want to be scared no more. So if you can't get from them something that can free you to get the fear out of you, that means you do need to separate. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think you should do it. Like you didn't come to this, you didn't run into me by accident. And that's what my job is. It's to let you know that, okay, you have the questions, they didn't get answers, but it doesn't mean there are no answers for your questions. So you can just look at it right now. My whole purpose right now is to take people, go back and use the very thing that they live and die by, but just use it in a different manner. Because once you come from under the belief system of certain religions and you're able to pull back and you can see the totality of what's going on, it's like I read the Bible in a whole nother frequency now. I read the Bible a whole nother different way. I'm not scared when I read it. I'm not reading it to not go to hell anymore. I am reading it and I don't read it much, haven't read it much since I left religion, but I'm being led to get back into it more because I understand that this is where people are at when they're trying to transition or they're having these questions, and they need this book to validate. They need this book to give them answers so they can make a right decision. So this is the first little lesson. I was going to go with Jonah because Jonah is the perfect example of ego versus higher self. And if you look at the Bible is a book of choices. Even the Bible itself, you can either look at the Bible as a parable, metaphor type thing, or you can look at it as it's physical on the surface. You can believe that a person could be in a well for 3 days down in the ocean and live through that. Or you can understand that there may be a meaning behind the story. But let's take it back even to the beginning. And I won't hold you much longer. I said it's about choices. The book, the Bible, if you look at it from the perspective of learning, from a spiritual level, not a religious level, this is not fear-based right now. In the book of Genesis, God told Adam and Eve, he said, you can pick and eat of all of these trees in the garden, but this one specific tree, you can't mess with it. This is a book of choices. It's talking about what happens if you do this or what happens if you do that. Your ego I'm talking spiritual now. Ego, higher self. God, devil, whatever the case may be. Have you ever thought about the fact that he said you can eat from the abundance of all these, but this one particular tree, if you eat from that tree, I don't want you eating there. And then you look at the fact that this is supposed to be the tree of knowledge. Then you also look at the fact that, okay, why would God not want, if we're children of God, why would he not want us to learn? Like if we ate off the children, if we ate off the tree of knowledge, why wouldn't he want us to learn? It's almost like he wants us ignorant down here. No, that's not it. A person's purpose down here on this planet is to learn and to love. Like I said, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. It does not take you that much to get off track. He said you can have the abundance of all these, but if you eat off this one thing, there's a problem. Now he's teaching it's teaching. I'm not saying I'm not talking about God is teaching. I'm talking about the book. The metaphor in the story is the fact that if you stay in your purpose, if you stay on track, because Adam and Eve didn't have any jobs or they were the first two people. They were the first two people on earth as far as the Bible is concerned. Okay. The reality is they weren't the first two people on earth. But just sticking to the story, they were the first two people, so they didn't really have any occupations. They didn't have jobs. They didn't even have kids. It was just them two. So they had a choice that they can make. If you stay on track and just do what your purpose was, you can have all this. If you veer off track, it's not going to be good. You're not going to know what that no good thing is, but you just know that it's not going to be good. But it was only one tree that could potentially damage so much down the line that there had to be a whole nother savior in the whole next section. Not the next chapter, not the next book, but there was a whole nother section devoted to what happens if you go way back here and eat off that one tree after having all these plentiful choices. The book is about choices, okay? The first lesson is the fact that we do have a choice. Now, spiritually speaking, what our jobs are is to discover the gift that we have. First of all, let's find the gift. The gift is the thing that you do best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Everybody has one. I don't know what your gift is. It's your job to find that out. And it's not going to be hard for you to find it out. I'm a writer. I can get in front of these cameras and I can talk. I can get in front of a people, whether there's 1 million people or whether there's 2. Doesn't matter. That's my gift. I can put words together. I have charisma, all that good stuff. Whatever your gift is. It's the thing that you do the easiest. Then you must find the purpose for that gift. No, not the purpose for that gift. Find your purpose and use that gift to assist in your purpose. So let's say you might be a speaker, but your purpose might be to lead people in a certain way, in a spiritual way. You might be a coach. You might lead people as a manager in a Fortune 500 company, whatever that purpose is. Okay? So your gift ties into assisting you into accomplishing whatever that purpose that you have. But along the line, there's choices that you have to make. Now, You might fully understand that if you continue on this path that you want, you can have all the fruit and eat off any tree that you want. But you also know that if you make a choice and go off the track, even if it's something that makes you go off the track for a small period of time, or if it's something that's very small, you know, it could screw up a whole bunch of other things down the line, right? But the fact of the matter is, you had a choice. And within those choices, you created your own realities. Are you following me? Correct? So, this is the assignment of being put in a situation where you have to think and understand that there is a constant back and forth between your ego, your lower self, your higher self, God. Now, the ego is not always bad because it's my ego that's telling me that I have the talent to get on here and do this. Like, there's the ego, there's good aspects for the ego. But sometimes the ego can get in the way of you making this decision, the sound decisions that you need to make to better yourself, because it sees the easy way out. It tries to take the road of least resistance. Sometimes you have to go through the storm. You have to. But there are other times where you can kind of veer off the road a little bit. But if you stay off the road long enough, there could be issues. But if you just get off, get back on, you straight. Well, your ego might say, well, shoot, I'm going to stay overnight. But your higher self is like, listen, man, we can't stay overnight. Just maybe take a nap for an hour and then we can go. Well, if you stay overnight, you might run into a storm the next day. You can't travel at all. The fact of the matter is, it's all about choices. Adam and Eve had a choice. Now, the story about God punishing and all that, that's just an elaborate type of thing to get the point across. But it had nothing to do with hell, fire and brimstone, or you all these years later having to pay for their sins. That was just a particular story about a particular way and we and us, how we are supposed to um, lead our lives. There's choices that we have to make. And if you don't make the correct choice, you don't have to be perfect. But it's just giving you an example of what can happen. You can make this choice or that choice. You can do this or that. There's the ego, there's the higher self. There's Satan, there's the devil. There's Jesus, there's the devil. That's all that is. But it's not until you step back from the fear-based belief system that you could see the Bible in these words in this way. And I'm saying you're on the right track. So I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Maybe you needed to listen to this in bits and pieces. Maybe I might make this bits and pieces, or I'll just keep the whole thing as it is. But anyway, listen to me, listen to other people. Right now, if you're in the beginning stages of this transition that you potentially can be in, don't put any pressure on yourself. You don't have to find out everything today. You're not going to burn in hell forever. Hell is not even, you can't even find, there's no destination of any place that God of all has even the time to even think about sending you to. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you watching this video. And I promise there's going to be some videos that I'm going to make that won't be this long. But this is just the introduction. Like I said, man, if you found me right here and you found this video, me ugly green shirt and all that, It was meant for you to find this. You know what I'm saying? Just like I come across, Kevin Wesley or David Hagen or Ray Hagens and things like it's meant, for me to find. It was meant for me to find those things so it can get me to where I'm here right now, helping you, and you gonna be okay. All right? Peace.